One of the big things that the program does very well is the idea of autonomy as a resident. Particularly as an intern, once you express that desire, most of the time your senior residents will be there enough, but they'll let you do what you need to do. You'll get a lot of learning experience on your own, and then that kind of trickles over to when you're a senior resident. The attendings, as much as they are hands-on, will allow you to make the decisions. The team is yours, and it's really important to help with our growth medically, and the things we get to see and take care of while we're here.
I am very happy and have just enjoyed residency. It's honestly been such a big increase from medical school, being able to actually care for patients and to learn. And while the learning curve is steep, it's also nice to be able to see the choices you make and all the things that you've worked hard for in medical school to have an impact on patients' lives, and to have them thank you for taking the time to see them and to talk with them, and to see them come crashing and burning in the ED and on admission, to being able to walk out the door on discharge with a good solid plan for follow-up and a better idea of how they can take care of themselves. And that is such a big deal in internal medicine because we are the primary care providers. We help coordinate the care for all of our patients, and that is just such a big part of the training here, and you get such a good autonomy in making those decisions and good support from your senior resident and from the attendings to being able to decide on how you want to, what medication you want to give to a certain patient and why this and not that, and what else could you consider, and whether they need other forms of healthcare involvement. That is such a big thing to just have here, and to be able to have everyone that's welcoming and willing to teach you and to help you so that you can provide the best for the patient, I think is such a great thing and such an enjoyment of being able to come to work every day.
This program really prepares you to leave and be autonomous in practicing in any field of your choice. And you're supported by the faculty in picking a subspecialty, or if you're going into general primary care or hospitalist medicine, you have access to faculty from all over those fields to help you. I myself am interested in allergy and immunology. That's a program that we don't have here, a fellowship that we don't have here, but my faculty experience has been one that they have gotten me in touch with numerous people in the area and outside the area to make sure that I feel supported even in picking a field that's not immediately present, and I think that speaks volumes of the program. All my co-residents who have picked subspecialties have had the research opportunities and the help that they've needed to get where they want to go. It's really exciting to see the residents that used to be my seniors graduate and become attendings and go into fellowships in whatever they've chosen and be successful in those fields. Our faculty overall is extremely present in helping you get what you want. They start at the very beginning. You're assigned a faculty member to meet with a few times a year to help you along the way, and they kind of go through your professional goals as well as your personal kind of life to make sure that you're doing okay and feel well supported in residency overall, because it can be difficult in many ways. So I think that's one of our strengths of the program.
So one really big draw for me was the ICU program here, since that's something that I'm interested in. When I came here, it was very apparent there's plenty of volume here, and the procedural training is fantastic. Even just as a second year, I got signed up on chest tubes, which is not something common for an internal medicine resident. But we get a lot of help with things like that, and I felt that training was great. So I want to say the hospital is 900 something beds,
970.
and then the ICU is 100 beds.
Exactly.
And then if COVID is going on, this is plus minus, mostly plus. There's probably a little bit more than 100 beds, because really anything could be an ICU bed.
Sure. Yeah, we have 3 ICU capable floors.
Yeah. So there's a tremendous amount of volume. And that really helps with just getting the numbers and doing procedures and things like that. There's always plenty to learn. Yeah, so depending on where you are, you know, in the phase of training that you're in, right, then you're gonna have different varying levels of responsibility. When you're an intern just starting out in July, you know, I make sure that the interns know what they're doing and help them along the way, and then gradually throughout the year they become more independent and need me less to help out. And then by the end of the year, I'm just looking over what they're doing and making sure and answering any questions that they have. And then when you're a senior resident, you have a pretty good amount of autonomy. You're comfortable admitting patients by yourself. At nights, there's always an attending on call. You can always call them with any questions or concerns, but really, like, you're the doctor at night and you go down and admit patients either with your intern or by yourself in some specific scenarios. But it's a really good way to learn because eventually you are going to be doing this by yourself, and it's nice to have somebody to call but also feel like you're doing something independently. Even just last night, for example, I called the attending, but you know, I went down, admitted a patient by myself, did an emergent HD catheter placement by myself to start an emergent dialysis for a patient, was calling everyone, you know, by myself, and you know, I can give the attending a heads up, so I feel like I have somebody over my shoulder if I need it, but at the end of the day, I feel like I'm doing things, you know, pretty independently.
We kind of hit the ground running. We have plenty of autonomy, I feel, and it's great but frightening in the beginning, but we have great attendings and co-residents we can always bounce ideas off of, and if we're ever uncomfortable, we have the support of our attendings, but having that autonomy in the beginning really sets the mood and the plan of attack to be a great senior and to be a great attending afterwards.